If you have a student with ADHD, you probably know how big of an issue missing homework is for them. Students with ADHD are going to have lots of missing homework. It's textbook ADHD. You know your student needs help, but getting them to accept that help from you is really, really hard. My 5-step student-led homework check works for hundreds of families, and it's gonna work for you too. I'm Annie Adjen. I'm a certified ADHD coach. I work one-on-one with high school, college students, and their parents. I help them understand ADHD, manage it, and tap into its many gifts. Students with ADHD are incredibly reactive, and they don't always react well to low grades, missing assignments, or incomplete work. They're already really overwhelmed, and instead of learning from mistakes, they often just shut down. But when we can catch problems before they snowball, something powerful happens. Regular homework checks help you see where your student's about to stumble so that you can support them before it turns into a crisis. This is how we build resilience, not by waiting for disaster and then rushing in to fix it. Rather, by helping them develop the skills to manage challenges proactively. And it's not just about school. This is about life. The student-led homework check helps your student gain confidence, stay on track, and develop those long-term successful habits, all while keeping you informed and engaged without constant battles. Here are the 5 steps to the student-led homework check. First, sit down with your student and look at their school computer together on the same day, at the same time, every week. It doesn't matter if grades are good or bad. Doesn't matter if you're feeling it or not. Doesn't matter if there's resistance or acceptance from your teen. You do not miss a single weekly homework check. The second step is your student's going to show you their grade portal online. While looking at that screen together, you're going to write down their current grades and missing assignments here in their dedicated planner. Your student then also shows you their learning management system. That might be Google Classroom, Canvas, or Schoology, and it's where every class and assignment is listed online. As your student shows and tells you what's assigned, you're helping them by writing all that down in their planner, the assignments and the date that it's due. Depending on which LMS is used at their school, you want to look for the To-Do tab, the Missings tab, and some learning management systems have a very helpful Calendar tab as well. Step number 4 is to make a plan. Together and collaboratively, decide what are the 2 or 3 steps for that day and the week ahead. What are the priorities? The plan might be to just focus on absolutely no missings going forward, or the priority might be to try to recuperate a couple of those critical missing assignments. Collaborate on a plan of action and write that down in their dedicated student planner. And lastly, scaffold and body double. You've just held the homework check, awesome. You've captured grades and due dates in their planner. Awesome. You have an action plan with your student. Awesome. Now, last and most importantly, you've got to step into all the scaffolding they require and body double wherever they need help in executing that plan at 80% success and 80% consistency. I can guess what you're thinking. It sounds good in theory, Coach Annie, but there's no way my kid is going to sit down and actually do this with me. Totally normal. That's why I teach different flexible ways to make the homework check work. For some students, a traditional sit down is just fine, but for others, we're going to need to modify. For example, you could try an asynchronous homework check. So instead of sitting down together, have your student record their screens and show you their grade portal and then text it to you. They can also take a quick video explaining what's missing and what's due and what their plan of action is. Have them snap pictures of completed work and then text those to you by an agreed time at night. These workarounds are going to take some pressure off and still give you the access and accountability needed. Another really important tip is please avoid yes or no questions. Yes or no questions set up the ADHD brain to lie, and that's a really common symptom. The ADHD brain just wants to give you the fastest, easiest answer, whether it's true or not. So here's 3 examples that are going to set up your student to lie to you. Do you have any homework? Nope. Have you done your homework? Yep. Hey, need any help with your homework? Nope. Instead, try to use show me questions like, show me that vision board that's due in ELA. Can you show me the instructions for your book report? Let's take a look at those 5 Google slides that you've turned in. And here's a big one. Just because they turned it in doesn't mean it's complete. If they can't show you the finished work, assume it's not done. Go ahead and say to your student, I believe you, and I need you to show me your work. All students, but especially students with ADHD, push back on their parents when they feel like they don't have any control. And that's why it's super important to offer many soft choices. Like, would you rather do your homework check with Dad or with me? Would you rather talk to Coach Annie? Would you prefer to do your homework check on Fridays after school or Sundays before the week starts? Would you rather do this in person or just send me photos and texts. And what if they don't choose? No problem. You get to decide. You can say, take some time to think about it. If you haven't made a choice by tomorrow, then we'll go with my plan. Mom and Dad, this is hard. This is why parents hire me to work with their students and do some of the heavy lifting. But here's the secret. It's only hard for a few weeks, because then it becomes a habit. Short-term pain for long-term gain for you and your student. I'm Annie Adjin, and I'm wishing you all A's in your every parenting endeavor.